Hey everybody, Jam Creates here. Another drive-in video today. I'm probably going to do a real quick one today because as the day has gone on while I've been at work, my throat has been getting scratchier and scratchier and scratchier. So probably not the best idea to just spend, 20 minutes or whatever it is talking, straight just talking, especially since tomorrow I have to do a bunch of talking at work. So I'll keep this one fairly quick and kind of lighthearted and silly. Over the weekend, we took a family trip to go see a show. This really is not even at all remotely comic book related. I can't even pretend. But it was fun and it was a good time, so I'm just going to tell you about it. We went to go. I'm not just a fan of comic books. Obviously you guys know I'm a fan of comics, and I like movies and stuff, obviously, like everybody does. Who doesn't like movies? But I also enjoy, other stuff. And one of the things that my family and I always do every summer, we watch America's Got Talent together. And when it comes to that show, I have and my wife feels the same way, and I think my daughter feels the same way as well. In the early rounds, when you see the singers and you're always like, oh wow, this guy can sing, and would never think it from looking at him or whatever, that's all fine and good. But when it comes to the actual winning the competition, I always feel like it should be the variety acts. There's 9 million singing shows on television. There has been for over the years 1,000,001 singing talent shows. But there's not a whole lot of shows where a dude high diving into a kiddie pool is going to be a valid contestant. On America's Got Talent, it is. So anyway, we went this weekend to go see PIFF the Magic Dragon and Mr. Piffles. Piff, if you don't know who he is, he made it all the way to the finals on America's Got Talent, and then he lost. And that's actually, he literally is selling t-shirts that say the loser of America's Got Talent, Piff the Magic Dragon. So he certainly embraces it. And that, if you've seen his act, you understand, that just makes sense. That's right in line with his character. So what he is he's a magician. He's a magician and he's a comedian. But he's also he's more, he's a good magician. He's a talented magician and he can do some cool tricks. But he really is all about the act and the personality, and that's really what gets him. That's what got him. The guy did not win America's Got Talent, but he made it all the way to the finals, and he has a standing gig in Las Vegas at the Flamingo Hotel. He works there Monday through Friday or whatever it was. I think it's Monday through Friday. He does shows at the Flamingo. He's got not everybody gets a gig like that where you're just at a place all the time. And he does, because he's entertaining and people like him. And he's smart. He has the dog. He dresses up in a dragon costume. I probably should have mentioned that. He dresses up in this silly little dragon costume, and he has a chihuahua with him. That's Mr. Piffles, and the chihuahua also wears a dragon costume. But and you'd think well, that's just a gimmick, whatever, and it is. And he freely admits that it's a gimmick, and he jokes all the time about the dog being his career and everything else. He's very self-deprecating. And he's just very funny. His act, we saw it's the first time we seeing his full act. Obviously we saw him on America's Got Talent, but on America's Got Talent, you do one thing and then you're done. You're on stage for 30 seconds to a minute, whatever it is. So seeing his full act, it was fun to see his whole, his entire act. And his act is good. It's funny. It was fun. We had a great time. I would definitely recommend, if you're in Vegas during the week and you want to go just check something out, I would check out his show. It was entertaining and it was fun. If you want, if you find out he's going to be on tour in your area on the weekends, dude, check him out. He's fun. It was a good time. We had a lot of fun. we brought my daughter. My daughter's 13. You can bring kids to his show. It's okay. He's not going to do anything like horrible for the kids, but he is going to curse. So if that's a deal breaker for you, I would definitely, think twice about that. Because he does curse quite a bit, but, my daughter's 13. She hears worse than that in the lunchroom or on the school bus, so it's fine. He's not going to do anything, sexual or whatever. Like, he's funny, and he's a good time, and it's a lot of fun. Now, I started off saying I'm not going to be able to relate this at all to anything, but you know what? I think I can. Here's the deal. A lot of people get really mad, they get bent out of shape about certain crowdfunders or whatever because people are making a lot of money, and they're like, oh, it's only because, XYZ. Well, it's only because he does videos on YouTube and people like that, so they buy his... Well, yeah, that's the whole point. People will support someone that they think is entertaining and funny. And that's the whole thing. Piff is a talented magician, but he's really not like... You're not going to look at the tricks that Piff does and be like, this guy is the greatest magician to ever walk the earth. Like, no. Like, he's good. I'm sure there's tons of other magicians who are way better magicians than he is, but they're not as good as showmen. They're not as good as characters. And that's the thing. Piff, he created a character for himself, and it just resonates with the audience, and it just works. And I think that is something that a lot of people are missing out on. When you're trying to sell a crowdfunder especially, and you're doing an indie comic and you're crowdfunding it, and maybe you're trying to do it through YouTube or whatever, like, you've got to be entertaining. And I did the video once before about make your crowdfund entertaining. And it's true. I mean, if you're a compelling, funny, or just interesting individual, you don't necessarily have to. Like, a lot of people, obviously, people complain about Ethan and Cyberfrog just because they just don't like Ethan. But there's a whole bunch of people now who seem very upset that, they've always, but they were able to kind of like write it off as, well, Ethan's been in the business for 25 years, 26 years. So he's got fans. And regardless of what these morons want to try and say when they try to insult his art, that dude is a fantastic artist. Just knock it off. But look at a guy like that Umbrella Guy. Umbrella Guy launched his campaign, and he's at, I forget what the heck he's at now, but he's really just exploded. His campaign really has taken off very quickly. And yes, he's had the advantage of being promoted by people like Ethan and whatnot. But the whole point is he's been doing his YouTube channel for almost a year, I would say, at this point. And he created his own audience by his thing. Now, his thing was covering the numbers, covering, IDW and professionalism in comics, and covering now the Vic Mignogna thing, and all of that. But guess what? Then when he launched his campaign, it doesn't hurt that he's got art coming from, oh God, I completely blanked on his name now for some reason. But the Battle Maiden Knucklebomb artist, it doesn't hurt that he's got art from him, which is, he's a very talented artist. But the thing is there's lots of talented artists out there who have failing crowdfunders. I bring it up all the time and the only reason I bring it up is because he brings it up. Antonio Bryce and Brand failed like 3 times. And Kanan White is arguably the best undiscovered talent artist out there. So you can't say it was the art that was the problem with that. They just didn't have the audience. Until Bryce got himself an audience, And it's the same with this. A guy like Piff, he built an audience by using what was there. And it's his personality. And that's where Umbrella Guy comes in. Umbrella Guy is not a known writer. He's not a known artist. Obviously, he's not an artist at all. And yet, his crowdfunder was able to make a ton of money already, and it's not even close to being done yet. And why? Because people like him. He already created an audience for himself. And that's exactly what Piff did. Piff is a magician. He's not like the greatest, like I said, he's not the greatest magician to ever live, and he's not the greatest comedian to ever live. But when you put it together, and you put it together with the personality that he has, and the persona that he's created for himself, the whole thing, the whole package works. Yeah, part of it is gimmick, but so what? You ever hear Eastman and Laird talk about creating the Ninja Turtles? They literally said they thought of everything they could think of that would be popular, that kids would like, that people would be into, so it would sell, to make something popular when they created the Ninja Turtles. Now, I don't know over the years if they've changed their story or anything, and they've tried to make it a more artsy-fartsy whatever, but back in the day, I remember reading countless interviews with them where they said, yeah, we just said, okay, ninjas, yeah, kids like turtles, kids like animals, so we'll make them turtles. Pizza, kids love pizza, let's make the turtles love pizza, we'll make them ninjas. Like, this is all the stuff. It was, like, honestly, that's just what they did. They just found stuff that was going to work. So anyway, that was, I'm just going to wrap it up there because I can feel my throat just getting worse and worse. So I managed to tie it into the whole comic book situation anyway. And again, just as a review, the show was a lot of fun. If you get a chance to check out Piff, I would certainly recommend it. And if you're going to try and crowdfund something someday, it doesn't hurt to make your campaign and make yourself entertaining. You've got to do something to stand out. And I know it may seem unfair if you're a hardworking artist, but maybe not the biggest personality. I know it may not seem like the most fair thing in the world, but you know what? Not always the best, most talented person wins in these kind of situations. It's the one that people notice. So anyway, that's it for this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. I would truly appreciate it. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel. I mean, look at what I do for you. My throat is killing me, and yet I'm continuing to bring you quality content like this. And I'm sweating to death because I had to turn the air off because it's way too loud in this car and it's hot today. But anyway, that's it. Look for my Bigfoot Bill unboxing soon because, yes, it got delivered yesterday. Woohoo! So anyway, share the video, share the channel with your friends, tell your friends and family all about Jam Creates and how you love it and how it's the best channel on YouTube, or at least not the worst. And then, get them to subscribe, or just like when they don't realize it, if they're logged into YouTube, just subscribe for them. And then when my videos start getting recommended to them, they'll appreciate it. They'll be really happy, and they'll be like, oh, thank you for subscribing this to me without my knowledge. I really like that. So anyway, that's it. I'm gonna go so I can stop talking and hopefully have a voice tomorrow as well. And that's it. I'll talk to you guys soon. Follow me on Twitter @jam_creates. Peace out.